Hello guys, welcome back to Hey Manager with me Alex, and today we've got episode 8 of the Aston Villa save, and since last time, a few hit results here and there that weren't particularly great, but let's jump into the action and see what we've got today. So today, we have got the Carabao Cup game away from home to Chelsea. This is the quarter-finals, not the semis, the quarters for now. If we go into the final four, that'll be fantastic. A bit of a cup run in the first season, the Carabao Cup, which would be fantastic for us. Since last time, what's happened? We have lost our first game in a while. It is in the Europa League, so it does see us lose 1-0 to Lille. Martinez had a great game, but we've tried to bolster the team at the end, bringing on Digne, Conser, Sancho, Rodgers and Watkins. Yeah, not particularly brilliant. John McGinn had another poor game. Buendia not having a great game, nor did Marlon. Martinez had a great game, but it just seems to be whenever he plays, we don't keep a clean sheet. And 160k a week, I mean, he's not had a fantastic year. In the Premier League, a 6.84, conceding 9 in 7. In the Europa League, having a great run, but conceding 3 in 3. There's just something about him. He just doesn't seem to keep the clean sheets. I mean, he's a great goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but I'm not really that sold by him. So at the moment, this man, although he might be a fantastic keeper on paper, he might be leaving us in the summer. He's just not doing it for me. So today, we do have the game against Chelsea, and Bizzo will be starting. He's been on a 7.42 average rating throughout the whole year. If you look at his form, incredible form. Let's just put it like that. Incredible form. Whenever he hasn't played, as you can see here, Bologna withdrew, Lille withdrew, Brighton we managed to beat, but whenever he's played, he's been unbelievable. So, praise his recent form. It's been delightful to see how well he's been playing of late. Let's try and hype him up for the game, so he'll be starting for me. Other than that, Matty Cash looking a bit worse for wear. Let's bring Conser in to play in that position, and we'll let Pau Torres take his place. Tyrone Mings in there looking fit as anything. Tielemans can take his spot. Sancho is opted out of the cup. He's not allowed to play in there. We then put Harvey Elliott in that attacking playmaker role. He plays it pretty well, to be fair to him. Then we have Rodgers and Watkins as ever. We're going to bring Tomiyasu off the bench. Gusson's on international duty, which is a strange one. He was injured and now he's just disappeared. So I think he's on the African Cup of Nations duty. So I think he's gone there. He's playing for Ghana, I want to say. Oh, Ivory Coast. So he's there playing for them. So an interesting one against Chelsea. Going to be very hard to play against them. I'm going to go cautious because we've played a few games where we've not been great lately. I mean, if we have a look at the opposition instructions, they've got a pretty strong side. They're playing Buonanotte and Estevao. Liam Delap, I'm going to definitely tightly mark him. That's the main one. Estevao, I'm going to trigger the press. Same with Buonanotte, trigger the press. Just close them down immediately. You don't want to tightly mark them. There's no need to. Cucurella, put him on his weaker foot and tackle him hard because he seems to always want to get forward. Gusto, tackle hard, and I want to trigger the press onto him because he's quite quick. Other than that, they're playing Yorks. They're rotating the side out a fair bit here. Lavia, again, I think trigger the press onto him. I want to see him on his weaker foot too because I know he's pretty good from the back. So we're going to go with that. I think we're looking, it's a pretty evenly matched game. I want to say our midfield's pretty strong still. Chelsea, they've not got the strongest side out there. I know they haven't. João Pedro's not there. Cole Palmer's not there. Caicedo's not there. There's quite a lot of players that they've taken out. Even Robert Sanchez not playing. Interesting one to see. Let's see how they play. In fact, they've changed it again. They've actually put Andre Santos in there instead of Enzo. So an interesting one to watch. We've got quite a strong side out, to be fair to us. I want you to ignore the recent praise in the media and just play your natural game. That's going to be the one. Trust in them, as we always do. They seem to enjoy that whenever I tell them. Midfielder's not so great. I think, Daniel Marlon, just as a bit of an update, I have put him on the transfer list. He's not really been doing it for me this season. He's not particularly great up front, which is a thing to me. He's not particularly great on the right, which, is... and on the left, that's taken by Morgan Rodgers for now, definitely. And Sancho's been a phenomenal player, much, much better than him in those positions. I think it's mental stats that are so key this year because you can see physically he's very good. He's scored a few goals, like finishing-wise, he's scored a few important goals, but just not particularly great as a starter. And he's one of our highest-earning players. Like, he's on 130k a week. We'll look forward to this one. Are you confident with the head tie? It's going to be tough, but I'm very confident. And is there a different challenge in going up against a newly appointed manager like Oliver Glasner's at Chelsea? I'm not really sure what to think about that one. How do you feel he'll fare in general? I mean, I like what I've seen from him and it bodes well for him, but Oliver Glasner at Chelsea? I did not expect that. He's playing his signature 3-4-3 anyway, so we'll see how we fare against the likes of Oliver Glasner. But the Carabao Cup, we've got a rainy night in December for the Carabao Cup, which is always interesting. We're playing at Stamford Bridge. And this is going to be a match for the ages, I think. I think it's going to be a very interesting one. Oliver Glasner at Chelsea. Interesting. Really interesting. So that means Enzo Maresca's been sacked. That means we're now going to have to try and beat an Oliver Glasner side. I think Crystal Palace were doing really poor in this save. So him getting this job is an interesting one. It's an interesting one to say the least anyway. As Digne commits a foul almost immediately and gives him a free kick. Esteval stands over it. You know, he's a very, very talented youngster. I think he's only 18, the Brazilian. So whips it into the box. It's headed away. Harvey Elliott gets there. And now we're on the break. Is there anyone back? There isn't. And Harvey Elliott's got acres of space to run into here. What can he do? Can he have a shot on goal? He does. He puts it in the back of the net. And immediately, 57 seconds in, as he swings his arms, he scored his goal. I don't know what Chelsea were playing at. A set piece where they had nobody back. Harvey Elliott with acres of space in front of him. I think that's Cucurella. Cucurella is trying to run back. I thought he might have just caught up to him, but Harvey Elliott takes the shot. Jorgensen can't get a strong enough hand on it. And we put it in the back of the net and 1-0 up immediately. Brilliant goal. Great goal, but that means nothing for us. We need to try and perform as well as we can. Torres getting the assist from the clearance from his header. But let's try and just absorb the pressure now and see what we can do, because hitting Chelsea on the break like that, that shows us something. There's a way to get at them here, as there's a corner now. Luca Digne stands over this one. We know he's great at set pieces. He whips one in towards the near post. It's a poor shot, cross in. Digne plays it back towards Conser, and Rodgers is there! Rodgers has put it in the back of the net. There's probably going to be a VAR call here, I suspect. And in fact, there isn't. As we've just seen, a very poor shot from Marlon get deflected onto, I think it was, I don't even know what happened here. Marlon gives it back to Digne, who I thought might have been offside but wasn't. Very, very poor cross towards Conser. Conser has a shot on goal. It deflects off him. Rodgers is there, sticks his foot out, puts it over Jorgensen. Great finish in the end. But wow, we have really taken this game by the scruff of the neck. 2-0 up already. That is interesting. That's very interesting. So let's see where we go from there, because 2 goals, it's 20 minutes in. There's plenty of time for Chelsea to get back into this game, but I don't know if they've got the players on the pitch to do so. We're playing pretty well. Like, look at the stats. 40% possession. Didn't expect more than that, but 0.89 XG and having 2 goals is an absolute robbery, I think, anyway. Here we are, building it up from the back. Tyrone Mings into Tielemans, spreads it wide towards Rodgers. Great ball out wide to him. He tries to take on his man. Poor take on there. But Fofana comes out from the back now. Buonanotte finds Cucurella, who's in acres of space. Are we going to close him down? We're not. Delap runs towards the back post. Can't get it. It's a poor header in. Poor cross in. And the header was a struggle. It was a struggle to get to that, as we saw. And that's going to be the end of the first half, pretty much. There's a highlight just before half-time here. Lavia on the ball. Hato. What's he going to do with it? Badiashile. We've got another 50 seconds until the end of the half here. Chelsea looks to build it up from the back. Andre Santos into Esteval now. They've found Cucurella, who we're not closing down as much as I'd like us to. He puts the ball in, and it's a decent attempt by Esteval, but we've got a player on the line to block that, as it was a pretty poor ball, and it was low driven cross in. Andre Santos stands over the corner, whips one in towards Badiashile. It's headed away. Come on, ref, call it there, please. He has. And that's half-time. We're 2-0 up. I mean, we are cruising. What 45 minutes that was. I'm very happy with the way we've been playing. Keep it up. Nothing to change. Let's carry on. I'm probably going to have to bring off Rodgers and Onana, because they've been playing a lot of games recently, and I was trying to watch their fitness. Probably do that in the 55th minute, because they've played plenty of games throughout December, but we're looking stacked to go through here. Right, it's coming up to the 56th minute. We're going to make some changes here. We're going to take off Onana. We're going to bring on McGinn for him. Rodgers can come off. We're going to bring on Buendia to play in his place. We might shove Elliott out on the left, just because he plays a bit better there. Maatsen can come on for Digne. A few fresh legs, but basically does the same thing, can do well in that position. And then Tielemans, he can come off as well. We'll bring on Ross Barkley to play in that position. Why not? Let's see out the game now. I think that pretty much matches their ambitions. We've got 4 changes there. See us out to the rest of the game now. If we need to make another substitution, we can. It'll probably be putting Marlon up front, maybe. Shoving him up front and then bringing on a right winger to replace him, because Watkins looks a bit worse for wear. We're playing well. We've had a lot of possession, we've had a lot of opportunities, we've got a lot of XG, let's put it that way. Just hide that screen at the bottom. Maatsen whips in the ball. It's a bit of a stunner, really, as Marlon picks it up. Ross Barkley pings it out to Maatsen again. Watkins is there. Can Watkins win the header? He can, but it's disallowed for offside. as it's going to be called out. I didn't really see where his starting position was once the ball was crossed in, but I'm gonna accept that. No VAR needed. 2-0 up. We're going to make one more substitution now. Let's bring on someone just for the dying embers of the game. Let's have a look. So Conte's looking pretty worse for wear. Let's take him off or bring on. Well, you know what? Tomiyasu. Why not, eh? Let's bring him on. Let's get him on there. Let's see what he can do. He's come back to play top tier football. Tomiyasu, let's give him a game. Let's give him a game. He suits that right back role better than Conte, so Conte can come into the midfield. Tyrone Mings getting on a little bit now, 32 years of age, probably going to sit on the bench next year. But it looks like this might be the last few kicks of the game. And we have beaten Oliver Glasner's Chelsea, which is crazy to think about. Oliver Glasner's Chelsea 2-0. I don't think they've had that bad a game. Jorgensen having a very poor game. Two goals which he should have really stopped. But again, Garnacho coming on up front, Achipong coming on. Gusto, they had a pretty decent team out there. It's not like they've had a terrible team, but we were just very much the better side there. Very well done. Gave it your best efforts. Really happy with how we played out there. Defenders-wise, I'm very happy with the performance tonight, lads. That was really well played. So, overall, that's brilliant. I mean, we're going to go through what we're going to say here. There was a few hairy moments in the game at least, but we're confident under the circumstances. I honestly never believed for a nanosecond that we weren't going to win that game. Very satisfying win for us, definitely. And that puts us through to, as Tottenham. Did Tottenham bottle it? Tottenham bottled it. I thought they were winning. Newcastle go through instead. I could have sworn they were winning 3-0 when we saw them last, when I noticed them last anyway. So Forest are through, Villa are through, Liverpool through, Newcastle are through, trying to go back-to-back in the Carabao Cup. Pretty much sees us go through. I'm happy with that. We now focus on the league again. So City have that game in hand still, where they could go ahead of us. Newcastle getting above Spurs now. Spurs do have 2 games in hand though, so they could easily catch up to us and get to 31 points, and we'll be 3 points ahead. But for now, we're sitting very, very high up this table. 8 points clear of 4th place. We're now 9 points clear of Spurs, who have to play additional games in there anyway. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Manchester United playing poorly. I think Amarin has been sacked. So we've got them coming up. Let's just have a look at their side. Let's have a look at them. Darren Fletcher is the manager at the moment, standing in as managers, caretaker manager. Interesting. So we've got United up next, Chelsea coming up as well, Arsenal in there, and then Forest will probably join you in the new year. The Forest game at home. We're going to, in that time, play United, Chelsea and Arsenal. Then we'll have an interesting game against Forest, 7th in the league. Let's see. We might be able to play them twice, you never know, because we'll probably have a Carabao Cup game somewhere in the future as well, probably somewhere around here. Let's see how we fare. Let's how we go forwards. I'll probably bring you either the Forest game or the Palace game. It'll be an interesting one regardless. FA Cup against Forest Green. We'll have that one to play too. So probably a nice one for Forest there. Then getting forwards, might have bring you another Europa League game, why not? Anderlecht in there potentially. And then we'll go from there. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you are new. 341 sub-managers today. This has been a Monday recording this. So thank you guys for watching. And I shall catch you in the next one after a very successful episode. If you are enjoying this series, please leave it a like, as I keep saying. It just lets me know that you're enjoying it. If you see more likes, I'll continue to upload this type of content, or I might drift off into the other ones where you can see, like, you know, how to set how I feel Football Manager is this year, like, you know, sort of reviewing how I feel the game works. Does it work? Is it particularly great? We'll see how things fare. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one. Hope you're all well, and I'll see you soon. From me, Alex. Have a great day. Ciao.